Knowing sine 30 is half and cos 30 equals square root of 3 by 2, can we compute sine 15 and cos of 15? We need to relate sine a by 2 and cos a by 2 with sine a and cos of a. Earlier, we related sine 2a and cos 2a with sine a and cos of a. We will use the same approach here. We start with cos 2a equals 2 cos squared a minus 1. And instead of a, we use a by 2. And instead of 2a, we use 2 times a by 2 or a. So we get cos a equals 2 cos squared a by 2 minus 1. Moving the minus 1 term from the right-hand side to left-hand side, we get cos of a plus 1 equals 2 cos squared a by 2. Let's get rid of the 2 in the right-hand side by dividing by 2. So we get cos of a plus 1 divided by 2 equals cos squared a by 2. And to convert cos squared a by 2 to cos of a by 2, we take the square root of both sides, and we get plus or minus square root of cos of a plus 1 divided by 2 equals cos of a by 2. Note, we got the plus or minus sign because cos squared will be positive even if cos is negative. So that's why we get the plus or minus sign. For sine of a by 2, we will simply use the fact that sine squared a by 2 plus cos squared a by 2 equals 1. So let's start with cos of a by 2 plus 1 equals cos squared a by 2, which we just saw. And on the right-hand side, instead of cos squared a by 2, let's use 1 minus sine squared a by 2. Moving the red box to right-hand side and the green box to left-hand side, we get sine squared a by 2 equals 1 minus cos of a plus 1 divided by 2. And the new right-hand side simplifies to 2 minus cos a minus 1 by 2. And that equals sine squared a by 2. Or sine squared a by 2 equals 1 minus cos of a divided by 2. And taking square roots of both sides, we get sine of a by 2 equals plus or minus square root of 1 minus cos of a by 2. Note, again we have a plus or minus sign on the right-hand side. Now, to compute sine 15 using cos of 30 equals root by square root of 3 by 2, we first note that we have to use the positive root here. We don't need the negative root here because 15 degrees is in the first quadrant where the sine function is positive. And sine of a by 2 equals plus or minus square root of 1 minus cos a by 2. Here we'll use the positive root, and sine of 15 equals 1 minus square root of 3 by 2 divided by 2, the square root of that. And multiplying numerator and denominator by 2, we get sine 15 equals 2 minus square root of 3 divided by 4, which simplifies to sine 15 equals square root of 2 minus square root of 3 divided by 2. Now to compute cos 15 using cos 30 equals square root of 3 by 2, we start with the expression we derived earlier, and we put cos a to be square root of 3 by 2, and we have square root of 3 by 2 plus 1 divided by 2 equals cos of 30 by 2. And multiplying numerator and denominator by 2, we get cos of 15 on the right-hand side equals square root of 3 plus 1 divided by 4, which simplifies to square root of 3 plus 1, square root of that thing in the numerator, divided by 2 equals cos of 15.